What is up, guys? My name is Motorius, and today we have a very exciting video because the Stage 3 playoffs of the Overwatch League just went down. We had absolutely insane games. We had the Houston Outlaws against the Vancouver Titans, and then we had the Shanghai Dragons against the New York Excelsior. I'm going to be breaking down each map, telling you exactly what went down, so stay tuned because these games were absolutely crazy. Before I start this video, I just want to say thank you guys for watching this video and make sure you smash that like button. Without further ado, let's go over the first match of the day, and we had the Houston Outlaws against the Vancouver Titans. The first map of the series was played on Ilios, and the Houston Outlaws gave it their all, but the Vancouver Titans came out on top and won it 2-0. Now the Vancouver Titans are sticking to their strategy of putting Stitch as their Sombra, and then if they're playing Diva, that's when they put in Janu, but if they're playing Zarya, then Siomensu comes in as a substitution. The Houston Outlaws stuck to their game plan of playing all these crazy DPS heroes like Jake playing Pharah, then you had Rockets on Ana, Boink on Mercy, Muma on Wrecking Ball, Lingzer on Brigitte, and Dante on Sombra. However, the Vancouver Titans kept pressuring the supports of the Houston Outlaws, with Bumper leading the charge as Winston and even Slime was getting insane boops on Lucio. The first map of Ilios went 100-0 in favor of the Vancouver Titans, and the second map of Ilios also went 100-0. So Vancouver Titans on King of the Hill scored 200% compared to the Houston Outlaws 0. Now I definitely thought that the Houston Outlaws would do so much better on King of the Hill because of their chaotic strategy, but the Vancouver Titans just seemed to be really poised and composed in this match, and they won the first map 200-0. The Houston Outlaws did try different strategies, with Jake playing Reaper, Muma playing Orisa, Lingzer was even playing Mei, and he actually went off on Mei, but it just didn't work out. The Vancouver Titans were just too technical, and they ended up winning that map. Now going on to the next map, we had Eichenwald. Eichenwald was an absolute slugfest, but the Vancouver Titans came out on top, beating the Outlaws on that map 3-2. And on that map, we saw Haxel's Genji pop out and destroy the Outlaws. And the reason why he brought out his Genji was because Lingzer was actually playing Widow, so in order to dive the Widow, the Vancouver Titans kind of went with the dive comp with Bumper on Winston, Haxel on Genji, and Stitch on Sombra, and those three were the attackers, just destroying and harassing the Houston Outlaws supports. Siomensu was playing this game, and he was actually playing Pharah, he was playing Brigitte, and he brought out his Zarya. Jake also brought out his Junkrat, and Lingzer brought out his McCree, but the Vancouver Titans just had the edge, and I think it was on the back of Stitch because his EMPs were very efficient and effective, and it allowed Haxel to Genji Blade pretty much anybody who was EMP'd. Those two DPS players, Haxel and Stitch on the Vancouver Titans, were the dynamic duo because they really had such an impact on the game, and they really made it hard for the Houston Outlaws to really progress on the map. And that is all for Eichenwald. It was 3-2 in favor of the Vancouver Titans. So first to 3, what is the next map? And the third map played in the series was Volskaya Industries. Volskaya Industries was predominantly a great offensive show match, with both teams scoring objective A and B on their attacks. It all came down to the defense, and Vancouver Titans held strong, holding the Houston Outlaws to 0 points on their attack, which means all Vancouver Titans has to do is get 1 tick on attack, and they will win this map 3-2. Now, what did the Houston Outlaws put all their marbles on? They went with their DPS comp with Dante on Sombra, Muma on Orisa, Jake on Pharah, Rockets on Ana, Boink on Mercy, and Lingzer on Widow. I completely disagree with this move. I do not think they should have put Lingzer on Widow, and here's why. Yes, Lingzer has been absolutely amazing throughout the entire season on Widow, but to put all your marbles in the Stage 3 playoffs when you're down 2-1 in a series and you're playing defense on Volskaya Industries, why would you put Widow in your comp? Because all the Vancouver Vancouver Titans have to do is switch to a dive comp, and that's exactly what the Vancouver Titans did. Bumper played Winston, Haxel played Genji, and Stitch played Sombra, and guess what? Siomensu didn't play tank, he played Tracer, so the Titans had 3 DPS heroes and 1 tank, and they managed to wipe the Houston Outlaws, and with that, the Titans take the series. Now, who was the player of the match? It was Stitch on Sombra, and this guy played absolutely amazing, and after that loss with the LA Valiant, they subbed him in, and the Vancouver Titans have been looking unstoppable. He had 21,000 damage done on Sombra, 23 final blows, almost 100 enemies hacked, 51 hack elims, 81 eliminations, and 13 deaths. Stitch played absolutely wonderful on Sombra for the Vancouver Titans, and that is the series. 3-1, the Titans beat the Houston Outlaws. Well, if you're excited for the Outlaws and Titans to face off because that matchup is stylistically intriguing, well, guess what? The Shanghai Dragons versus the New York Excelsior went down, and the Shanghai Dragons completely upset the New York Excelsior, beating them 3-1. Now, was this really a surprise? Yes, it was, because the New York Excelsior on paper should be better than the Shanghai Dragons. But guess what? New York Excelsior just can't seem to step up and clutch it out. They always seem to crumble under pressure and collapse when it matters. And when it matters is the playoffs, and that's usually when they have their biggest losses. Now let's go to the other side, the Shanghai Dragons, who had this completely Cinderella story, not winning a single game in Season 1 of the Overwatch League, and now they're in the Stage 3 playoffs. If you've been watching closely, every single week the Shanghai Dragons have been unleashing their potential little by little. They were one of the first teams to actually play Sombra when everybody was playing the GOATS comp, and as a result of adopting the Sombra strategy early, probably the earliest team in the league to adopt that strategy, now they're ahead of the curve in the Overwatch League, and they have one of the best Sombra players in the league. DM is such a great player on Sombra, but let's talk about the actual match and the scores of the maps. So on Oasis, the Shanghai Dragons take it 2-0 in a clean sweep, shocking the crowd and the New York Excelsior for taking that first blood on Oasis. Second map, New York Excelsior answers back, winning it on Hollywood 2-1. Coming out of halftime, Volskaya Industries was the map being played, and the Shanghai Dragons win it in OT 4-3. And on Watchpoint Gibraltar, the Shanghai Dragons shock the world when they beat the New York Excelsior, winning that map 3-1. So the overall score of the series was 3-1 in favor of the Shanghai Dragons. Now, the Shanghai DPS players DM and Ding absolutely dominated the New York Excelsior. It just seemed like Mano and the New York Excelsior just didn't put enough pressure on the Shanghai Dragons. This allowed DM and Ding to thrive on Widowmaker, Sombra, Hanzo, and even Pharah. The Shanghai Dragons on Watchpoint Gibraltar actually came out with a triple DPS comp, with DM playing Widow, Ding playing Sombra, and Youngjin playing the Doomfist, and this actually worked. It seems like the New York Excelsior just want to stick with their guns, stick with their original game plan they had coming into this stage, and they're kind of playing a GOATS comp with Sombra, but it's just not working out. That's not the meta anymore. I believe the meta is more DPS heroes coming into the mix, and New York Excelsior just didn't have the DPS damage, because Focus Fire on the Shanghai Dragon side seemed to be more effective, and this makes sense because they have more damage dealers. The New York Excelsior just couldn't adapt to their strategy, and who was the player of the match for the Shanghai Dragons? It was Ding. Yes, he used to play Sombra, and I believe he actually was one of the best Sombras, but he actually switched his role with DM, and he started to play this Pharaoh role, and his Pharaoh was absolutely insane. He had 55,000 damage done on Pharah, 40 final blows, 17 barrage kills, 1 environmental kill that came crucial in the King of the Hill match against Nene, and 78 eliminations. Congrats to the Shanghai Dragons. They are moving on to the semifinals of Stage 3 playoffs, and that is it for the series. The Shanghai Dragons beat the New York Excelsior 3-1. That was yesterday's games. Let's talk about the games that are going to happen today. We have the Seoul Dynasty against the San Francisco Shock at 9 o'clock. I believe the San Francisco Shock will just beat the Seoul Dynasty. They are the reigning champs of Stage 3, and it would just be stupid to bet against them. Then we have the LA Valiant against the Hangzhou Spark, and that is 11 o'clock. But this match right here, I actually do not know who will take it, but I'm just gonna say the Spark because they've been on a spark lately, and I just think they'll take it against the Los Angeles Valiant. Let me know what you guys think will happen in the comments down below. Good luck to those teams playing. This video is brought to you by ESTNN. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Peace.